Everyone in Canada is obsessed with the front door of wealth, the house, the rental condo, the TSX. It is the door everyone can see, so it is the door everyone lines up at. And while you are out there, fighting for a one-bedroom condo in a bidding war, refreshing the listings, losing to an all-cash offer, the wealthiest families in this country have quietly walked around the side of the building. They have found a side door. While you are busy buying the cars, they are busy buying the rights to the road. Today, we open that side door. And once you see what is behind it, you will not look at the front door the same way again. For 30 years, the Canadian dream had exactly one blueprint: buy a condo, rent it out, hold it forever, retire rich. On any quiet morning in 2026, that blueprint is quietly falling apart, and most people have not noticed yet. Here is what broke it. In 2024, Ottawa proposed raising the capital gains inclusion rate to two-thirds on gains over $250,000. The wealthy did not wait around to find out. They started re-examining every single brick they owned. Then, in 2025, the government canceled that increase, and today the inclusion rate sits right back at one half. But here is the twist that matters. The scare had already done its job, because when the wealthy looked closely at their rental condos, they did not like what they saw. Rental income is taxed as ordinary income, and at the top marginal rate, that is more than 50%, straight to the CRA. Mortgage costs, at today's interest rates, are now higher than the rent coming in the door. And StatCan numbers tell the same cold story. The average condo in the GTA now yields around 3%, and that is the number before a single expense, before the vacancy, before the tax. 3%, for all the risk, for the tenants, for the sleepless nights. The math did not just get tight, it broke. The condo stopped being an engine of wealth, and it quietly became something else entirely, a financial anchor. So the wealthy did something that sounds strange until you understand it. They stopped buying the cars. Think about it this way. A car needs insurance. A car loses value the moment it leaves the lot. A car is an asset that constantly demands to be fed. The rental condo is a car. It looks impressive in the driveway, but it never stops asking you for money. So instead of owning the cars, the wealthy started owning the road. Private credit is a toll bridge. Every time a Canadian business needs to move, to expand, to build, to grow, it has to cross that bridge. And every time it crosses, it pays a toll. That toll has a name. It is called interest. You do not care if the car is shiny. You do not care if it breaks down on the far side. You just own the right to the path, and everyone who wants to cross has to pay you to do it. This is the quiet secret of Canadian wealth in 2026. They have stopped being landlords. They have started being lenders. They are, quite literally, becoming the bank. And here is why the timing is almost perfect. The big Canadian banks, the Royal Bank, TD, the ones whose towers you can see from anywhere downtown, have pulled back, hard. After years of rising rates and tighter rules, they have tightened the taps on lending. So where does a solid mid-sized Canadian company go when the bank finally says no? Picture a profitable manufacturer, a regional developer with a project half built, a growing firm that just needs capital to reach the next stage. They are not broken companies. They are just too small for a big bank's patience and far too big for a credit card. So they turn to private lenders. And the wealthy are standing right there, ready, filling the exact gap the banks left behind. They are lending directly to these businesses and developers at interest rates of 10 to 15%. Now, let me be honest with you, because a lot of channels will not be. This is not free money. Private credit carries real risk. Borrowers can default. And your money is locked up. You cannot pull it out on a whim. Even the Bank of Canada has started warning about how quickly this market has grown. But for the wealthy, that risk is the entire point. The toll is the reward for standing in the exact spot the banks got too scared to stand. So let us put the two choices side by side. In plain Canadian dollars, a Toronto rental property, 3% before tax, before expenses, before the headache of a 2 a.m. phone call, private lending, a target of around 12%, paid to you as contracts, not chores, same dollar, roughly 4 times the flow. That is the gap. That is the quiet space the wealthy stepped through, while everyone else was still fighting over the front door. But it goes deeper than the yield. It is really about how the whole ship is built. Picture a Canadian millionaire's portfolio as a ship on open water. The stock market is the sails. The sails give you speed, but they are completely at the mercy of the wind. Residential housing is the deck. It is the part everyone can see, the part they show off at dinner parties. And private credit? That is the ballast. It sits far below the waterline, heavy, invisible, frankly, boring. Nobody ever admires the ballast. But when the economic storm hits, when the market crashes, and the sails are tearing themselves apart, the ballast is the only thing keeping the entire ship upright. The wealthy do not buy private credit to look rich. They buy it to stay standing. At the exact moment everyone else capsizes. And there is a specific feeling that comes with all of this. It is the moment the quarterly statement arrives. You open it, and you realize the money grew. Not because you fixed anything, not because you chased anything. It grew because a contract you signed months ago simply did its job, quietly, in the background, without you. Your wealth grew through contracts, not chores. That is the whole shift. In one sentence. You stop working for the money, and the paperwork starts working for you. Now, for decades, this was a closed club. To even get into the room, you needed to be an accredited investor. Often that meant $1 million in the bank, minimum. The toll bridge was there the whole time, but there was a velvet rope in front of it, and your name was not on the list. That is exactly what is changing in 2026. The side door is finally opening to the middle class. It is opening through specialized private credit funds. It is opening through MICs, mortgage investment corporations, which pool your money into a diversified book of private mortgages so you are not betting on a single loan. And it is opening through EMDs, exempt market dealers, the licensed guides who can legally walk you through that door and show you what is inside. Minimums that used to sit at $1 million now start in the low thousands. The velvet rope is coming down. The only question is whether you notice before the room fills up. And it is not all paper contracts. Some of the wealthiest are quietly moving into Canadian farmland. StatCan data shows farmland values climbing, year after year, almost regardless of what the stock market does. Because when the Canadian dollar weakens, a hard asset that literally grows food does not flinch. It is ballast you can stand on. A hedge against a currency that keeps losing its footing. So how do you actually make the move from passive consumer to private lender? Think of it as a manual override on your financial life. Step 1. Stop thinking like a shopper and start thinking like a bank. A bank does not buy things. A bank funds them and collects. Step 2. Find your door. A registered EMD. A reputable MIC. A private credit fund. Do the homework. Read the terms out loud. Understand the risk before you ever reach for the reward. Step 3. And this is the one almost everybody misses. Use the shield. These investments pay high interest, and interest is taxed at your full marginal rate. It is the CRA's single favorite kind of income to tax. So you hold them inside a TFSA. Every dollar of that 10, 12, 15% grows inside the shield and comes back out, completely tax-free. That is the manual override. You are not just earning more. You are keeping what you earn. Here is the truth the front door will never tell you. Wealth in Canada is moving. It is moving from bricks to flow. From the thing you can see and touch, the condo, the deck, the shiny car in the driveway, to the thing you cannot see at all, the contract, the toll. The quiet stream of payments that arrives, whether you show up that day or not. For most of us, the system makes us the tenant. We pay the toll. We cross someone else's bridge every single day of our lives. True freedom is the moment that flips. It is when you stop being a tenant of the system and you start being the one who owns the contracts. The front door is crowded. The side door is open. The only question left is which one you choose to walk through. If you learned something, make sure to like this video and hit subscribe. See you in the next one.